Bon dia and welcome back to another video about personal finance, retirement, and financial independence. I'm Trajan. I'm a former financial planner, Wall Street analyst, and now I make videos for you. Thank you so much for everybody who viewed my video about 5 mistakes I wish I would have known before I retired early. That video has taken off. I'll link it below down in the description if you want to check it out. In today's video, we're going to talk about best ways to save $1,000. Now, there's a commonly asked questions. How do I save my first $1,000? And for some people, it might seem very easy to save $1,000. And for others, it might be very difficult. In fact, I think it's difficult for a lot of people because over 60% of Americans do not have more than $1,000 saved. And we might think it's difficult. The more money you have, the more you're going to save, right? Well, as we learned from the book, The Millionaire Next Door, which I did a video about, most people, especially people with a lot of money, don't have something saved. What happens is people earn more and then they spend more. This is a common occurrence. Everybody does it. As you get a raise, you get a bonus, you get a tax refund, it goes in and it goes right back out. Most people, at least in America, do not save their money. So we're going to talk about some ways to change that and how you can save your first $1,000, whether you're saving for your retirement, saving for financial independence, saving for an emergency fund, just want to have some money stashed away in case you get a flat tire on the way to work. Having that first $1,000 can provide so much peace of mind and stability, and also it will get you on the track to saving more. If you can save $1,000, you can save $10,000, and you can save $100,000. It's a matter of having a process, having habits, having a vision, which we're going to talk about in today's video. So don't get me wrong, saving $1,000 isn't going to make you rich, but what it will do is it will get you in the habit of thinking about saving money. And those habits will carry you through saving more and more money. So let's cut to the chase. I'll make it simple. The best way to save money, to save $1,000, is by reducing expenses and or increasing income. Let's first talk about reducing your expenses. Start by focusing on your habits. Habits are more important than the actual results because as you build habits, those last far beyond the first $1,000 that you save. Those habits that you get into as you're saving the $1,000, you just continue doing them because you're habits, because they are habits, then the $1,000 turns into $2,000 and over time goes to $5,000 and $10,000 because you've built a solid foundation of focusing on the habits first. And focusing on the habits first will help you reach that first $1,000, that $100,000, and take you to financial independence and retirement. And even better than that, once you have those habits down, it will help you to continue to manage your money in retirement. So you know where your money's going, you're not wasting it all, and you can feel more secure knowing that you are good with your money. This is a dialogue that we tell ourselves that we're not good with money, and then as a result, we're not good with money. We act out that same inner dialogue. And by developing habits that make you good with money, that will not only save you more money, but it will also change your inner dialogue, and you will become a person that is good with their money. So building a habit refers to the practices and routines that will help you consistently set aside money over time. A habit can be anything from changing your savings account, deciding not to eat out every night, scaling that back, cutting down expenses, and habits where you just spend more money than maybe you would like to. Some habits that you can implement now are switching off your AC when you're not at home, carpooling. These small things can make a lot of difference. Not drinking every time you go out, not going out as much, not drinking as much on the weekends, cutting out some bad habits like maybe smoking or vaping. When I started to save, one thing that made all the difference for me was that every Sunday night, my wife and I would sit down and we'd go over all of our goals, all of our expenses we had coming up, and what we had spent the last week. That forced us to face our expenses and face our budget and to see how we were really doing, and that developed a habit. So the number one habit for me, and I think for you that can help you, is to set aside a time to review your finances once a week, whether it's by yourself, with a spouse, with a friend, with an accountability partner, maybe a parent. Set aside that time to review your expenses, because by reviewing your expenses, then you're actually looking at them. A lot of people just only review their expenses when there's no more money in the bank account and they wonder, where did all my money go? You have to review it at least once a week, maybe even daily, checking your bank account to check and see where everything is going. Once you're watching it, then you will be much more cognizant of where the money is going. If you would like to get a copy of the same agenda that my wife and I use every Sunday night, then go to the link below this video and you can download it for free and see if it will help you. I believe it will. Follow the agenda every week. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to go through every week to review your finances, just check in to see how you're doing. It can take longer if you want to go into more detail, but if you want that agenda and you can customize it to what you like, then check the link down below. It's important for everybody in the household, if you have a household, to be on the same page. And having this meeting gets everybody on the same page, focus the same directions, with the same values, the same goals, working toward the same thing. Next is get rid of debt, at least pay off some debt, because that debt is making it harder and harder for you to accumulate money, accumulate savings. Don't be like most people and live in debt. Have it be a normal thing that you've got a balance of your credit on your credit card. Not only is that a bad habit, it also affects your credit, can bring down your credit if you have a balance over 30% of your available limit on your credit card. But it's a bad mindset to be in, that you're always going to have a balance on your credit card. Credit cards aren't always bad. They can be actually very beneficial if used in the right way. But make sure you pay them off every month. If you have a credit card balance, create a plan, focus on a plan to get that down, because that money that you're paying every month in interest is money that could be going into savings and should be going into savings. Also, if you have a goal to become debt-free by the time you reach retirement, that is not only makes it easier for you to get to retirement, but it makes it so you have less to pay in retirement. Your expenses are less, so you don't need to save up as much money. If you can decrease your consumption, the amount of money you need to spend from $80,000 a year to $40,000 a year, then you also cut in half how much you need saved for retirement. So it's a double-edged sword that benefits you. Makes it easier to get to retirement and financial independence, and once you're there, you don't need nearly as much to live on. So cut down your debt will help boost your savings. Next is automate savings. There are a couple of different ways to do this. If you work for a company, then have money taken out of your paycheck, if it's not already, and put into your 401k right off the top. Whenever you get paid, it comes out first thing. Pay yourself first. That's the easiest way to increase your savings through your employer. Second is set up an automatic deduction to your bank or your brokerage, so money comes out and whenever you get paid and goes automatically into your account, into your checking account, or more, even better, into a brokerage account, so you don't even see it, you don't even think about it. Start low. You don't have to transfer a whole bunch of money to start out. Start out with $10. Every time you get paid, $10 goes into your brokerage account, and then you're going to get used to it. And then increase it to $20, increase it to $50, increase it to $100, and keep slowly cranking up the dial until you're not missing it, until you have a sizable chunk of your paycheck coming out every time, going into your 401k, going into your investment accounts, going into your brokerage account. That will quickly add up to $1,000 and beyond. Those are one of the habits that I talk about that will make it easier for you to save money. Is you automate it. Set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about it. Set it up once, and soon you're going to become accustomed to it and not even notice it. Of course, another benefit of saving in your 401k is if your employer matches, which many do, then as you contribute to that, you're doubling the amount of money you're putting in up to a certain limit, where you're putting money into the 401k and the employer matches it. That is free money. If you're not taking advantage of that, you are missing out on free money. And I'll talk more about this in a future video on ways to save for retirement using 401ks, traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, HSAs, etc. We'll do that in a future video. So if you want to hear more about retirement vehicles, then comment down below in the video and I will make it if I get enough comments. But for now, let's focus on creating more habits. One of the habits to get into is every year looking at your taxes, making sure that you're taking the amount of deductions that you can. Usually it's a standard deduction, will cover everything. Look at rebates and credits. And then if you get a tax deduction or tax rebate, put that directly into savings. Some people you really use that as a bonus, and they think if I get a rebate or a tax refund, I'll just go spend it because that's free money. That is actually your money. That's money that you overpaid to the government. So consider that savings. Every time you get that back, earmark it to go directly into savings. So I know it's a lot to handle. You're talking about your retirement accounts, your budget, where your money is going, and I think it's very useful to use apps. So check your bank account every day. I use an app like Mint. There are a bunch of other apps where it makes it easy to track your money, track your spending. And if you know where your spending is going, then it's easier to know how much you're spending and where you can cut out, where you can cut in your budget, cut back on spending to put it into savings. So review your spending either in an app or in your bank account, go through every line item and circle the things that you can stop spending. Do you have all of the subscriptions to HBO, to Netflix, to Hulu, to Peacock, or whatever else there is? Can you cut out a couple of those and earmark that $50 to spending every month instead? Can you eat out one time a week less and earmark that $50 to spending instead? That can really add up if you're conscious about it and you go through your budget and line item the things that you're spending, that you just take that same amount and move it over to the savings column and automatically send that over. Either when you get paid or every weekend, you can, when you do your weekly meeting, you say, okay, I cut out those subscriptions, I didn't eat out this week, so I'm going to transfer $100 as a reward to myself to savings because I didn't do those things. Because I was disciplined enough to not spend that money, I'm going to take that $100 and transfer it into savings. And that is so rewarding to make that transfer as a reward to yourself that you did great with money that week. Rewarding yourself like that encourages those habits and keeps you motivated, keeps you driven to keep performing and to keep saving and see those savings increase. Because in the end, it comes down to values and goals. What is important to you? What do you want to have the money for? Is it more important to you to have the money to spend on shoes and clothes and restaurants and cars and whatnot? Or is it more important to you to save for financial independence, to have freedom, to be able to quit your job, or to have FU money, to do what you want at work and not feel like you're beholden to your company? What are your values? Maybe take a second and write down what your values are around money, what your goals are, and make sure those align. Because once you have your values and goals, it's easier for you to think about when you're spending money to just harken back to those and say, is this spending this money going to help me achieve my goal? Does it align? Does this expense align with what my goals are? Does having all of the subscriptions align? Because I'm spending a lot of money watching TV, I'm spending a lot of time watching TV, but I wrote down here on my paper that my values are, I want to be financially independent. I want to get out of debt. I want to pay off my credit card. Are those aligned? No, those are not aligned because you're spending time and money on things that aren't directing you toward your goal. And second is motivation. Motivation is an important factor because the more you're motivated, the easier it will be to accomplish your goal. So think about why you want that $1,000. Are you planning for a retirement? Are you starting a retirement fund? Do you just want to add another $1,000 to what you already have? Do you want a new gadget? Do you want to save for financial independence? Are you building an emergency fund? Do you want a new car? Having a specific goal in mind will help you link it to motivation, what your motivation is for achieving that goal, achieving that $1,000. So write that down. What is your motivation and what do you want that $1,000 for? Saving money is so much easier when you know why you're saving it, when you have a why behind it, you have a value behind it. And don't worry if you struggle to save money. Most people do. I did. I still do sometimes. It helps to have a support group. So having somebody that you can do this with, that can help encourage you and support you, whether it's a friend or an online community. There are lots of places you can go for support on spending and budgeting and keeping on track and staying motivated. So now let's go back to the other half of the equation, which is making more money. There are a few ideas to making more money, from asking for a raise, working extra time, working a side job, just changing jobs or careers entirely, or trying to make some passive income like renting out your property, renting out your house. If you don't have a house, you can rent out your garage or your backyard, an empty room in your house, anything to bring in money. Look around your house at things that you don't use anymore that you can sell. Have a yard sale, sell some of your golf clubs that you don't use, whatever you can do to raise money and also declutter your house, which is double benefit. Take that money and put it directly into savings. Next is think about the skills that you have. Are you a bookkeeper at work? Can you do some bookkeeping on Fiverr, on Upwork? Do you have consulting skills, editing skills online? Can you publish a blog, make YouTube videos? What are the skills that you can do that you can do some extra jobs for now to bring in some extra money to allocate towards savings? And what's better is if you don't have those skills or you have them, develop them so you can continue to use those to develop an income that is separate from your current job that you like, that you can continue to do once you reach financial independence or retirement, that you might want to keep doing that because you just like doing it. You like making YouTube videos like me. You like crafting, making paintings or sculptures or doing something that you can sell. All those skills are skills that you can develop that is basically a hobby that can pay for itself and pay for extra things and put that money into savings. On top of that, the ideal passive income scenario is investing. Warren Buffett suggests that any investor puts money into an index fund, builds up a portfolio that you can live off in retirement, live off in financial independence. It's paying you dividends. So you don't have to start with a lot of money to invest. Just start with a little. A lot of brokerages and apps, you can start with as little as $10 and make that transfer every time you get paid, just like you are into your savings account. Consider putting it into savings and also some of it into investments that's going to pay you money that you accumulate over time. Again, this goes back to building the habits, building up the automated systems, those systems that you can do every day, every month, every time you get paid, that you're putting money into your savings account, you're putting money into an investment. If you have debts, that you're taking that money and paying it toward debts. So if you have more than $1,000 in debt, then focus on just paying your debt down now and consider that a win that you're paying down your debt, because once it flips, your debt's paid and it flips, you can start putting money into a savings account. You've got those habits. So focus on the habits. So in summary, first start with a goal. Next, know why you want to save $1,000. Know why you want to save $10,000. Some people want to do it in a month. Some people want to do it in a year. So have a when. So have a goal, have a why, and have a when. And then create a plan, create a budget, and start implementing that plan, implementing those habits. And lastly, have a where. Know where you're going to put the money once you save it, because you're going to be doing it initially $10 at a time, $100 at a time. Have a place where you're going to put that money that you can track it and see the progress, because seeing the progress is so fulfilling and so motivational, it will keep you going. So have a where as well. If this was helpful, then please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more. And if you want more information about saving for retirement, financial independence, to know what's going on with the market, which stocks are doing well and which aren't, then check the link down below or go to morningdownload.com for my free daily newsletter where I break it all down every single day. Thanks and see you next time.